to study the effects of excessive alcohol use on a mouse's motor skills. Didn't know Mickey had a drinking problem. I'm not an expert, but I assume a drunk mouse is much like a drunk man, and it's not pretty. Like, give them enough Jack Daniels and they start wobbling around. It's not pretty. Save a few million there. It makes you wonder, how do they come up with this stuff? And you can't make this stuff up. It seems like they took all the crazy ideas in Pelosi's inbox and they dumped it out and they added it up and said $787 billion. Then what do we call it? Stimulus. Yeah, bingo, because nothing will stimulate this economy like a turtle tunnel in Tallahassee. I mean, randomly stuffing a $100 bill in a Cracker Jack box may be more stimulating the economy. At least the people who scored that bill would invested in a real business that can create real jobs for Americans. But don't give them any ideas. No Cracker Jack stuffing with bills. No. Seriously, though, all that new debt, it did not work. And they now are preaching to you that it did work and that we need additional stimulus packages. Oh, the deception. Oh, my goodness. And please, God, don't let anyone tell Obama what number comes after $1 trillion, or we'll be heading that direction. Friends, the president is now telling us that we're not thinking straight because of all the fear and frustration that Americans have. He claims facts, science, and arguments aren't winning the day because we're not thinking straight, quote unquote. Well, you know, Mr. President, you've got it right on one point there. We are afraid, knowing that your economic policies are driving us off a cliff, and knowing that your fundamental transformation of America is turning into a nightmare. This is not the America that the rest of the people want. This is not the America that patriots fought and died for and are still dying for today. This is not the America that Floridians fight for, to protect, to persevere through every day. Yes, we are frustrated because there is no fact or science or sound argument behind the Obama-Pelosi-Reid arguments, behind their policies for our economy. Now, he admits now, our president, that he knew all along that now there was no such thing as a shovel-ready project. Talk about deception, because he had said that there were, of course. Now, we know what he'd been shoveling all along, and it wasn't asphalt. And here are a couple of things that we can do to get us back on the right track. First, before we spend any more of the people's money or borrow any more from China or print it out of thin air or squander our children's future opportunities, before that happens, adopt the test that President Reagan's economic policies had to pass. What he would ask was, will it serve to liberate and empower the individual? Will it encourage us to reach for the stars? Or will it weaken us and drag us down into submission? Pretty good bar to set 28 years later, don't you think? Yeah. Again, we're not asking for much. The American people want a government that stands up for the little guy and won't just kowtow to union bosses and radical special interests and short-sighted political favors and projects. We want a competent government that knows that overreach and overregulation and overtaxation strangles our small businesses. The Fed's overtaxation kills jobs and kills the American dream. They're forcing Americans to outsource jobs and opportunities to foreign countries. It is the left's policies that are forcing our businesses to look elsewhere to conduct business. We want a healthcare reform system that's based on common sense. It's not asking for much. We want common sense in healthcare, not wholesale government takeover of what was the best healthcare system in the entire world. And we want a government that understands that this dollar that they spend comes from our pockets. Hardworking Americans, someone, somewhere is producing something for a politician to think that he gets to take that and spend it according to his own priorities. That's not how America was built. That's not how our private sector will be able to get back on track and grow and thrive and create jobs for the American people. It's not how our private sector will be able to prosper. Obviously, you should be able to keep more of what you earn and produce so that you can reinvest in your own businesses and elsewhere according to your priorities. That's how you're able to hire more people, create more jobs. It really isn't that difficult. November 2nd can be a new day where that common sense can start to be applied again. November 2nd, a new way forward with common sense, which granted is an endangered species in Washington today. But if we take this back, if we turn it around, and if we elect those people with that common sense and with an understanding of how to run a business, how to balance a budget, how to make payroll. I kind of wish a prerequisite for anybody running for office was you had to, if not owned a business, at least worked in the private sector to understand a little bit how the rest of us work. A new way forward for America, though, starting November 2nd. 10 days from now, if we make this the biggest effort, the biggest turnout, the biggest GOP victory ever in our history, we're going to take it back for we, the people, for the unemployed, for the overtaxed, for the overregulated. See, there are no second chances in elections. There are no second chances here, and come November 3rd, I do want to be able to wake up. I want all of us to be able to wake up and say, yes, we did all that we could. We put forth that great effort to do all that we could to support these campaigns, to elect those candidates locally, statewide, and on a federal level, to put government back on the side of the people. I want to be able to look in the mirror and say, yes, we worked hard to stop the liberals' big government, big spending, big tax, pessimistic agenda. And I know most of all of you have done so much already, but you can't slow down now. Now really is when you have to dig in. And I know that you've already been so tenacious and sacrificial in doing all that you can to help candidates, but please just keep that up. You've been working hard, making great sacrifices. We need even more, though, in these next 10 days. We need independents. We need registered Republicans. We need Reagan Democrats, and we need disenchanted, disenfranchised Democrats who understand they were sugared. They didn't get what it is that they thought they were going to get. All united together, standing together all across America, from Alaska to Florida, stepping up to the plate, digging deep, getting out the vote, getting behind Victory 2010. We've got to go that extra mile, folks. And thank goodness you have some great candidates right with us today. Some are still here. Some had to get out there to start campaigning for their day, which is great. You know, you're Marco Rubio. I'll tell you. Marco Rubio. You know, I'm thinking when we consider this revolution where it's been proven now in this last year that really anything is possible in these campaigns, where Marco Rubio started and kind of taking on the establishment and mavericky, going rogue, you know, doing it. And I look at him and I think, you know, we kind of started a whole bunch of this stuff. So I'm very, very proud and encouraged by Marco. And then you've got Dennis Ross.